I'm just driving around San Francisco. I have a conference on the West Coast, and I have a little bit of time between when the conference was over and when my flight goes out. I usually have to do a red eye, and I was just driving around San Francisco, driving down Mission Street, checking out the city, and one of the striking things that I see, particularly in America, but it's true of many different places, is the contrast between wealth and poverty. And it just strikes me, it's just an interesting contrast where you see people in extremely fancy cars, you name the fancy car, big, beautiful buildings, and then you drive 2 or 3 blocks and you see a tent city where people are living in tents on the street underneath a bridge. And, it is striking how the amount of wealth that we have, and yet the lack of, the lack of support to deal with some of these problems. And it's not necessarily, I'm not saying that um, it's the government's fault and any of that kind of stuff, but it's just striking when you see the contrast between the two. And solving those problems is a challenge. It's not a one, do this one particular thing and everything is going to be fine. Have certain kinds of social security and everything is going to be fine. That's not how it is, but it is striking to see the amount of contrast compared to many different places. And so one thing that's really contrasting that I see, and as as a Canadian that's moved to the United States, it's always a challenge for me to deal with, because I relatively am wealthy in the grand scheme of things, and not only that, but it's just challenging to know that there is a complex problem. It's not, you can't just give money and all of a sudden everything is going to be all sorted out, and that's not how these things work. But certainly there is signals, challenges that we should definitely address. Um, if not in some of these extremely wealthy cities, particularly places like San Francisco, and I was just in Seattle, for example. A lot of wealth that's actually there and created. Um, why can't we actually do something about the inequality? And I know that there's many systems in play that do something about it, but how come we can't really start addressing those things? And I don't know if it's, there's something that's an age-old problem, and I'm not. The challenge of me is me thinking that somebody else that's living in a tent in the street is, somehow worse off than I am. That's not true, right? Like they, there's definitely, everybody's human beings. Everybody is dealing with their own problems, but it is striking to me, and I'm empathetic to the challenges that we have to face, and I just wanted to talk about that, be open about that. Um, the remarkable challenges that we face going forward and dealing with what to do with that problem. And I don't know if there's a solution, but there is a problem there that's underlying some of these challenges. And I think we just need to be open. I think we need to be cognizant that there are challenges to face, and perhaps maybe start thinking about ways to address it. Golly, I wish that there was a solution. I just don't know what that solution is that that solves some of these larger challenges that we face. That's all I wanted to say. I gotta go return my rental car right now, but it is a challenge, and perhaps we need to start having more open conversations. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.